Welcome to Linchpin Conversations number 157. I'm your host, Pat Sherwood, also the owner of CrossFit Linchpin. In today's episode, I do an interview with Dave Jalpert. He's the owner of CrossFit Insanity, and that affiliate has been in business for over 10 years, which is an amazing accomplishment. They're one of the many gyms that choose to follow the CrossFit Linchpin private track for their gym programming. And Dave talks with me about what it takes to build a strong community, lessons learned over the years, and what it takes to become a better trainer. This conversation originally took place as an Instagram live video. We do them every Tuesday, so feel free to check them out. I also encourage everybody, go to CrossFitLinchpin.com, check out our FAQ section, tons of good info there. You can also access all of the previous podcast episodes on our website, and you can find them on iTunes and Spotify. While you're at our website, be sure to click on the tab marked Private Track. Check it out. We provide warm-ups, workouts, scaling options, dumbbell-only workouts, at-home, no equipment-needed workouts. We give you goal times to shoot for. There's instructional videos, demo videos, accessory work, cool-down stretching, basically everything that you need. You also get access to the more than 15 Beyond the Whiteboard specialty programs that are amazing, and they're designed to help you improve certain areas like your squat, clean and jerk, snatch, deadlift, or help you get your first pull-up, muscle-up, handstand walk, or something else. And all of this is delivered to you through the Beyond the Whiteboard app on your phone, or of course you can access it by computer. The Linchpin Private Track is designed for real people with busy lives who want to be done working out in an hour or less. Our goal is to program the most fun and effective workouts that you can do that will get you extremely fit without leaving you feeling beat up. We want you to feel good, and your knees, your back, and your shoulders will thank you. How nice does that sound? And just because you're working out at home does not mean that you're alone. We have an incredible and supportive community that will be right there with you to keep you motivated and on track. All of this is just $10 a month, and that includes a Beyond the Whiteboard subscription, which normally is $8 by itself and worth every penny. But for $10 you get everything. We have thousands of people from all around the world currently as members for two very simple reasons. It works and it's fun. Our community is comprised of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. But of course, you don't have to take my word for it. You can check it all out for yourself with our 30-day free trial. All you need to do is go to CrossFitLinchpin.com and click the tab marked Private Track. Also, if you just enjoy the content that we put out, the best way to support it is by joining the Private Track. So check out today's show, Linchpin Conversations, number 157. First of all, thank you, Dave, for making the time this morning. So for anybody who doesn't know,
I'd be
Dave
failing
is
that
the
one.
Dave is the owner of CrossFit Insanity. They have been open 10 plus years, which in and of itself is a huge accomplishment. He and his affiliate, his community, they follow CrossFit Linchpin for their affiliate programming, which I'm honored to obviously have a 10-year affiliate as part of our network as well. And while that's cool, I just thought, somebody who's been a 10-year affiliate, who's been coaching as long as you have, I just wanted to get you some exposure to the world and kind of pick your brain to hopefully maybe make some other folks out there who are earlier on in their training journey better at what they do, because you can't buy experience, right? You got to live it and you got to make the mistakes and figure it out. So first of all, when you and I were talking the other day, one of my first questions always to affiliate owners is whether or not their gym is their full-time gig that supports their wife and their life, and it's always a mixed answer. And you said that, yes, not only is it that, but you're pulling that off in California, which is not an easy place to do that. So could you give us a little background of your journey from first getting into personal training to now owning your own business?
I started off obviously as a personal trainer at 24 Hour Fitness years ago. I think it was in like 1997. And I was a trainer there for years. I went to LA Fitness, was there for a while. And then I had my own personal training business where I basically paid a gym that I worked out of and just paid them a fee, brought my clients in, and ran my own business out of there. I did that for about 7 years. And that's kind of where I started bringing in CrossFit into it. And then I kind of looked from there. I was like, well, I'm paying them, so much money every month. And I had a buddy that was doing the same thing. So we're like, if we put that together, we can get our own facility and start doing what we want rather than kind of sharing all this equipment with other people. And then we decided to open a CrossFit gym in 2010. So,
and didn't you say
short version?
And didn't you say when you were doing personal individual training in those other fitness facilities that you started sprinkling in CrossFit, and that really helped with a lot of retention? You kind of said you weren't the best salesman out there.
Yeah, I mean, so when I was at 24 Hour Fitness, I could never sell. I mean, I couldn't go up to people and try and sell them stuff, but every time I had clients, I could get them results and basically hold on to them. So my manager would always just give me clients. So I always had a full stack of clients because I would always re-sign them. So they were just happy that I could maintain them. So yeah, I wasn't the best salesman at all going into CrossFit. And then when I started doing my personal training on the side, like my own business outside of LA Fitness and 24 Hour Fitness, I started doing kind of like CrossFit-esque workouts. So I didn't know what CrossFit was, but I have a degree in exercise physiology, and I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist as well. So I kind of was like, I can do this. So I was like, I'd have people do like, leg press. They jump on the leg press. They do like 15 reps, and then they go run around the parking lot, do 2 laps around the parking lot, come in, do some burpees, jump back on the leg press. So I was pretty much doing CrossFit, but adding in like weight machines.
Right.
So it was like I was using the machines, but doing like multiple kind of circuits of like WOD with machines. And my buddy was like, well, why don't you just go do CrossFit? And I was like, I'm kind of good. I know I have my CSCS. I've done kind of strength and conditioning. I kind of understand this stuff. So finally he got me to go because we wanted to open up a gym. So I'm like, okay, if I want to open a gym, I have to get certified.
Right.
So I went for the class. I believe it was like 2009. And then literally I went in there and I'm like, that is the best thing I've ever done. I sent my wife the next week later. So I like called up and I'm like, I got her on the next one, and I sent her to go too. After I did it, I'm like, this is out of all the things I've done through my kines degree, taking my CSCS, I was like, really kind of explained CrossFit was the best thing that I've ever seen, kind of summed it up into what I was doing. So,
we could go down a totally different rabbit hole, which we won't, but you're so right, because that's one of the, and you've got the credentials from academia that you entered the level 1 seminar with, which, I saw plenty of similar people like yourselves when I was running level 1 seminars, and most of them had the exact same response that you did, which initially they walked in with a bit of, okay, this is only 2 days. What could we possibly cover in 2 days? Blah, blah. And then at the end, like, wow, like it is a informative, all the fluff has been removed, and just the essential, amazing nuggets of information are presented. And that level 1 course is definitely a powerful deal if no one's ever been. Do you remember who your instructors were at all? I
actually remember one of them because she won the games, was Jolie Gentry.
Oh, no, yeah, okay, way back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool, okay. And when we chatted the first time as well, as soon as I saw the name of your affiliate, I was incredibly jealous. It's just such a cool name, CrossFit Insanity, and I knew, before I even knew that you were a 10-year affiliate, that you must have been around a really long time, because there is no way somebody would not have snatched up that name years and years and years ago. And what kind of led you to picking CrossFit Insanity?
Well, actually, it's funny because, we got slack for it in the beginning. It was just like people were like, oh, did you pick the last of the names? Like, there were some articles out there that kind of had read some stuff, made me feel bad at first. I'm like, what? But basically, yeah, but basically it came across my clients. when I was training and I was doing all this stuff, once I got to level 1 and I started I took out the machines, and then I started kind of doing regular CrossFit. And then, my clients were just like, this is insanity. What are you doing to us? Like, this is crazy. So when I came up with it, I just remember my clients being like, this is insanity. Like, And I was like, that's the perfect name. So that's basically how I came up with it.
I think it's fantastic. And I think anybody who doesn't like the name is absolutely crazy. It just doesn't get how insane CrossFitters actually are. And, one of the key reasons, like I said, to have you on here is ideally just to pass some knowledge to folks who maybe are beginning their journey. Because in my humble opinion anyway, you can have it's great to have a wonderful gym and to have square footage and to have the cool equipment. I mean, that's all part of it, and some good trainers, and obviously you got to have good programming. You're not going to get results, but you could have all of that, but not have a sense of community, and therefore you could fail, and it doesn't matter how pretty your space is. And when you were telling me, when we first talked, what really struck me about you was instead of talking about yourself, which is easy for people to do, you talked about your community and your members, and you bragged on them. And I thought that's really cool, and this guy gets it, quite frankly. And you mentioned everything from you had members start a GoFundMe for your gym during COVID when times were tough. You had members support other members that had cancer. I mean, all kinds of crazy, awesome stories that were indicative to me that you don't just have a gym, that you've got a community. And that's one of those unscientific things that's tough to measure, but when you see it. And I think it's one of the most important things that a CrossFit gym needs is a great sense of community. And so I'm curious, as much as a tough subject of that can be to define, how do you think you can build or foster a strong community in a CrossFit gym?
So, I mean, this has been a lifelong endeavor for me. I mean, I've been training since I was 19, but I think really it is, first off, it's really just caring about your members, knowing that going into this, you're not going into it to necessarily make money. I mean, in the end, you do, but you have to go into it caring about people. So the events, I mean, like we throw events. I mean, we have beach days. We've done everything from like cornhole tournaments at our gym to, I mean, we have a beach day every year. We throw big Christmas parties every year. So it's just, I think it's events. I mean, when we've gone to competitions and we try and get everybody to come. I mean, we've been at the competitions with 30 or 40, 50 people coming and like supporting. I mean, I've had 15 to 20 athletes competing at local competitions, and everybody will come out to support them. But I think it's the community as well. I always have to say it's my people. I mean, it's kind of funny. I have members that will sell my gym when people walk in the door. Like I can walk away and they'll be like, "This is awesome," and they'll tell them their experience. And like, it's been a lot of times where I don't even have to sell anybody anything. Like I'll walk up and they're like, "Okay, I want to sign up," because they talked to one of my members. So, but I think it really starts with caring about the people that you train. I mean, I've always done this and I've gotten slack for it, but there's a lot of times where I've given way more than the time. People always ask me for help, and it's not like, oh, hey, well, you got to buy some training. It's like I put in the time to help them because I really want to see people succeed, whether it's in CrossFit or competition or just losing weight or nutrition. I mean, I tend to kind of give as much as I can to help people out.
Again, it's tough to define, but I think people can tell when somebody truly cares, when they're faking it and when their heart's really in it, and obviously yours is. And after, you've been training for years and years and years as a coach, and your gym's been open 10 years, how much of the training load, how many classes are you still running over the course of the week?
So I train, it's just me and my business partner. We run the whole thing. So, my wife will dabble in some classes here and there. But I train anywhere. I've trained upwards of, I trained 5, 10. I probably train at least 15 to 20 classes a week.
That was one of the things that kind of blew me away when we were chatting. I'm like, 10-year-old affiliate established. I'm like, I figured you'd have this staff of trainers, and you're like, no, it's basically just me and my training partner. We run all the classes. I was like, holy cow, which seems exhausting to me, but also in the same breath, that gives you such an amazing ability to be invested with the community, to be personally involved in everything that happens, and to make sure that the culture and the community stay exactly on the track that you want it to be on.
And I think that's kind of where it's at. Like me being involved as an owner, you know, like when you're there, I think a lot of it is that when you hire coaches, no matter how much they care, they never care as much as you do. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't generalize that. But in reality,
Sure,
like
I get it.
A coach can go somewhere else and coach somewhere and get paid. For me, it's like I have everything into the gym. So it's hard. I mean, I've had coaches. I've had good coaches at the gym. I mean, up until COVID, we had a coach who was a great coach. I mean, he'd only coach like a couple hours a week. I mean, he coached like 6 hours a week and cover some classes. But I definitely think being present in the gym as an owner makes a big difference. I mean, talking to people, being there, just after class, like I spend a half hour talking to people, talking about their diets or talking about their movements or trying to help them just because I'm there. It's not like, oh, class is over. Okay, I'm
Right.
going to go.
Go hit the bricks.
Exactly.
Yes. So it's not a typical 9-to-5 job, that's for sure. So you are so involved, you are so invested, you've been doing that for so long. So now, we've got maybe some new people looking to very much go down the same path that you've been on and you've done quite well at. So what would be your top 3 kind of lessons learned or things that now looking back, you're like, man, I wish I knew these few things when I was younger and first started the gym instead of having to learn them the hard way?
I mean, that's a hard question. I mean, I know we had spoke the other day and you asked me that, and I'm like, that's very hard. I mean, at the end of the day, I've worked a successful gym. So it's obviously worked out. I've done some things right. The one thing I would tell people starting out is, I mean, I start small. I mean, that's my kind of biggest thing is too many people want to have the big gym, have this, like, have coaches, tons of coaches, make a bunch of money. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like we actually, I didn't cover this, but we've been we moved once. So we got our first facility, and we moved once 6 months into our,
okay.
And literally, I've been in the same facility for the past 9.5 years or 10 years now.
Nice.
We're over a 10-year affiliate. So it's been 10 years, because we would have been 10 years in November. So at this facility, we've been in there for 10 years. And people have asked me, like, why don't you expand? And I'm like, my numbers go up, my numbers go down. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to lose the gym. I don't want to go too big and put too much in to where, like COVID hits and then all of a sudden I can't afford my rent or something comes up. So, I mean, I always say start small with it. I mean, and even like to me, I've always said I'd rather open up another location versus a bigger facility because it's always easier to shut down a second location than it is to kind of go smaller once you're a big, huge facility. So, I mean, that's the hard part. I've been to where I've wanted to expand, but I feel like in order for me to expand, I would have had to have certain numbers for certain periods of time. And even then, like those numbers drop off. I mean, if I would have had a bigger facility, I think I would have lost things during COVID. Because also having that smaller gym, I think breeds a good community, a nice tight community by not having just that, okay, the owners don't know who you are. You walk in, you check in, and nobody knows who you are. So, I mean, I think that kind of helps out a lot. So I think starting small is definitely something that you should do if you're looking into starting a gym.
You can always expand from there.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say too, like for me, it's kind of like you said, like the nice new briny, shiny equipment. I think that you also got to start simple, like choosing your equipment wisely. Like I've always, I made a mistake when I first started. It was like, okay, I think I bought like 4 GHDs and like, I'm like, I never use these things, right? Like they're great. It's a great tool, but for the average person, like teaching them how to really use them, they wind up hurting themselves more than benefiting from them. right? Now, don't get me wrong, I have them, but I didn't need as many as I got. So, you know, or nowadays it's like you have the Echo bikes, you have the erg bikes and the rowers, the stand-up, like the ski ergs. And, you know, it's always like, you guys need to get this, you need to get that, the new things. And I mean, we know CrossFit, like in reality, it's like, listen, if you can run and you can row, you pretty much can stay in shape.
We're going to make something work for you.
Exactly. So I think spending a lot on that, and kind of mitigating like your equipment to just get started and start making money, is important. Like people always think, you know, I need the nice colored bumpers, I need a nice shiny stuff. And I think now with CrossFit, you know, since when I started, I mean, back in 2008 and 2009, I mean, you know this, like the gyms were just like, it was just a garage gym with like some rubber bumpers. And it's like, now you have like, oh, the nice brine, you got to have the colored plates and you got to have all this. At the end of the day, weight is weight. So, I mean, that's my take on it. Like I would say, pick all your equipment and all your stuff wisely when you are opening a gym. I mean, because that's kind of what we did. I don't think I made that big a mistake other than buying as many GHDs as I did, because I wound up having to get rid of like 2 of them. They didn't fit in my facility.
So for facility and gear, you can just start small, keep your expenses in line, and then expand when it makes logical sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I would say, because I think too many people nowadays want the big facilities because there are so many. I mean, you know, back when I started, I don't think there were many huge facilities. I mean, now you have like 10,000 square foot facilities.
Right.
And it works for some people. It does. But I mean, I think for us, keeping our community small has helped us kind of do what we've done.
Well, switching from the owner side to now, you know, ideally there's a lot of coaches or trainers watching this, and you've been coaching and training people for a long time. So what would be your pearls of wisdom or tips or advice for, you know, young trainers looking to set themselves on a path of becoming better trainers?
I mean, honestly, it's love what you do. I mean, you have to love this. It's one of those things. I mean, you can make good money being a trainer, but if it's all about the money and you don't care about the people, I mean, you're not going to go very far, because it's kind of like you said, people know when you care about them, when you put in extra time, you know. So that's one thing I would say is make sure that you are, you know, you care about the people and you love what you do. Secondly, I mean, don't be complacent. I mean, no matter what you are with your business, you know, I'm always trying to do better, even though, I think I critique myself a lot on my business. I mean, and as I said when I spoke with you earlier too, I critique myself on my training too. I mean, I've done a lot. I have a lot of credentials, but I always think that I don't know enough. So I'm always trying to do more. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing I'm always kind of questioning what I do. And I do have a lot of credentials, and I think the reason why is just because I always think that I need to know more. I mean, you know, I learned a long time ago when I was a personal trainer, and one of my managers asked me, you know, how much do you know about training? And I said, I know a lot. And he basically told me, once you admit that you know nothing, you will learn the most you could ever learn, because you're open to kind of being like, and that's kind of what happened to me in CrossFit. You know, at first I was like, oh, I know that stuff. I've done strength and conditioning. I kind of understand it. And then once I went, I was like, this is amazing.
Right. So, yep. Continual learning. I fully agree.
Yeah. I mean, and other than that, I mean, those are 2 of the biggest things, I think. I mean, you know, I did write down, but I think this goes back to the gym, is like being present in your mind, like, and body, like, and that's what I said about the gym owners, right? Like, you need to be at the gym present, and you also need to care about the people. But I think loving what you do and never getting complacent about it, are 2 things that, I mean, those are the 2 biggest things that you really need to know, going into training.
I would 100% agree. I think the learning needs to continue for as long as that you're in the game, and then you will be worlds ahead of other people who let their ego get in the way and figured, I know everything, I can just stop learning right now. I think that's a dangerous place to be. But Dave, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, being a part of what we're going on, letting us be a part of your community there, you sharing your knowledge. And for anybody watching this, maybe they're traveling or know somebody in your area looking for a gym, let everybody know, where can they find you? Where are you located? What's your, website, the whole 9 yards?
We are in Southern California. We're in Irvine, California, basically right by John Wayne Airport. Our Instagram is CrossFit Insanity. You can check us there. You can check us out on Facebook or CrossFit Insanity. And then our website, obviously, CrossFitInsanity.com. It's all under our CrossFit Insanity name. So you can find us anywhere around there. But yeah, if anybody's out there that wants to drop in, you're always welcome to drop in. Come check out a class. Do some of the linchpin workouts.
Well, it'll be a good time in that California sun. But once again, I really appreciate you making it happen, and I wish you nothing but the best for you and your members. And we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Yes, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
You got it. Have a good day.
And I gotta do a quick shout out to all my members. I do.
Go ahead.
Because I know we talked about this, and the one thing I didn't cover, I do got to shout out to all my members, because as I did say, they did help us. Last year, I thought we were going to shut down. Everybody kind of stayed with us. And as we didn't get the cover, but they have covered everything. I've seen members get married to passing away. But we have they've all been there. We've had charity events for all sorts of stuff, from cancers, raising money for my members with cancer, people donating artwork and selling artwork to give to members that needed treatments. And my business partner, who actually was the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Man of the Year, we raised, I think, $60,000 or $70,000 in 2017 for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. But all my members, anybody that's coached with me, I just have to give praise to everybody, because I am where I am because of everybody out there.
I think that is absolutely the sentiments that make a good affiliate, and that's probably why your guys are finding the success that you are. And that's a perfect thing to end on. Thank you, the members. So again, thanks to you, thanks to your members, and keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Have a good day.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.